Hello and welcome back to another episode of Rooftops and Rent Rolls. Today we're talking about an exciting property in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, Oxford Manor Apartments. It is 201 units. They are 1 and 2 bedroom apartments and 3 bedroom townhomes. They're currently sitting at around a 94% occupancy rate, which is very healthy. It's almost 95%, so it's a very healthy rate. It shows an inflow and outflow of tenants. And they're offering a concession right now that if you rent one of their already made ready 2-bedroom apartments, they'll give you $500 off your first month's rent on a 10-month lease. And specifically, this property, again, is 1 and 2 bedroom apartments and then the townhomes. The townhomes are pretty full. I don't remember the unit count for that apartment complex, but I know that there's a lot more 1 and 2 bedrooms. It seems there's always 2 bedrooms available at Oxford Manor, and that's why the concession is on the 2 bedrooms. They're trying to push high occupancy rates by offering a concession on them. The property is really neat because under Morgan Properties, we took it over a long time ago now, but they added the fitness center. There was already a pool, which I think they're maintaining that decent. There's a playground. There always was a playground, but they've added to it. I think they added a dog park and some other features to the community. The 2 bedrooms are actually starting at around $1,550. The 1 bedrooms are around $1,300. I think they only have like 1 or 2 of those available, and then they have no 3-bedroom townhomes available right now. Something people don't know about Oxford Manor is that these are actually modular units. These were brought in on tractor trailers, and they were originally, they were all like army barracks. And a lot of people don't realize that, but if you ask the manager when you're looking at apartment there, I'm certain they'll be honest with you and tell you, yes, we are modular. They did when I went there to look at a property, an apartment a couple years ago. And so, yep, they were brought in on tractor trailers, and I think that's kind of interesting. I think most apartment communities in our area are not like that. They were, regular stick-built foundation. They're not brought in on tractor trailers. They said they were really ugly when they were first built, and they've made so many curb appeal improvements to the property over the years, adding vinyl siding, redoing the decks, replacing windows and doors, and making so many improvements that you wouldn't know they're modular unless you know the true history of the property. My dad worked for Kenwood Investments, which was the owner of the apartment complex for a very long time. When Robert Sallyman passed away and they sold this property, and then it was taken over by Morgan Properties all those years ago. I think it was back in maybe 1998 or something like that. I was still in high school, in my 11th or 12th grade year when all this happened. Oxford Manor is a decent property. I think because of their modular build, they have more problems with noise amongst apartments. So you always have apartment noise. Like, you're gonna hear people, you live in a building, with a bunch of other families, you're gonna hear some stuff, right? But when they're modular built, you're gonna hear even more because these are not regular stick built. Now, if you read their reviews, which I did yesterday, and I went through and seen what the current residents are saying about the place, they say that they hear stuff, but nothing outside of regular apartment noise for the most part. There's always the people that will complain about anything, but for the most part, they're saying it's not that big of a deal. And that, I guess, during renovations, they've made some adjustments, maybe adding some type of soundproofing between units. I can't confirm that. I don't know that to be fact, but that's what somebody mentioned on one of the reviews, or at least hinted at it. And so, some people say the maintenance guys are amazing, and some people say the maintenance guys are terrible. Some people say the people in the office are really don't want to get involved. Yet the replies to those reviews are, we're happy we got to talk to you today and we did get this result. So apparently they're reading their reviews and they're reaching out to the people to try to make things right whenever existing tenants or former tenants make a bad review. They're reaching out to them to make it right. So they're definitely trying to do the best job that they can do. It's an older property. You know, I think it was built in the 1970s, something like that, 60s. It's not a new build property by any stretch. That's about what I have for you right now, but if you stay with this video, we're gonna go walk through the exterior of the property, just show you kind of how it's made up, show you where the rental office is. And so I hope you stick around, and I'll see you in just a second. Okay, so we arrived at Oxford Manor Apartment in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. This is Oxford Drive. There's also Apple Drive. This is Oxford Drive is a public road, and so this is just one of the buildings. I actually noticed there was a vacancy there. You can see they have balconies and patios, private entrances versus the common entrances. They're garden apartments and also townhomes. So they're 1-2 bedroom apartments and 3-bedroom townhomes. And you can see some different layouts of the buildings to show you the townhomes versus the apartments. And so they do have off-street parking. And Morgan Properties has started a thing at their properties where they allow you to reserve parking, where you can pay a monthly, I guess, fee, and they'll put up a reserved parking sign for you so you can reserve your own spot. Of course, that's really great for the owners of the community because they make more money off the property by not doing anything other than putting up a sign. And it's good for the people that want a reserved spot because of the fact that they actually get a reserved spot that is only theirs and no one else is allowed to park there. So kind of a win-win for everyone, I guess. Especially if you do have enough spots for everybody and you just want to pay a little extra for the one that's closest to your front door. So we're taking a look at this community. As I said previously, it's managed by Morgan Properties. Was originally owned by Kenwood Investments, which my father worked for in maintenance. I remember coming over to this community, and we would, I would go in and sit in the rental office while my dad went out and did landscaping or helped, like if they were short-staffed on maintenance, like the guy, the maintenance guy was Denny, and he would go on vacation, then my dad would come over to help out. But my dad mainly worked at the office building. And so you can see how the community loops back around this way on a public road and then goes into a housing development. The neat thing is Oxford is not actually on a main, busy road. This is back in the housing development. And so the good thing about Oxford is you don't have all that road noise that you might have from a busy neighborhood. So over this way is the rental office playground, which is currently covered in snow. But and behind the office is where the pool is. Okay, and right here used to be the rental office for a while because they made the office into a clubhouse. I guess that didn't work out, so they changed it back. And they continue to use that 2-bedroom first floor as a model, but I'm not sure it's used as a model anymore. I don't know. I did talk to the community managers, and they said that, okay, they also won some awards from the apartment association. So a lot of Morgan Properties definitely pushed the fact that they won awards through them. And it is a good thing, obviously. So you can see the community is some brick and some vinyl. The windows don't look too old. The only thing I would say is come spring, it would definitely need to be pressure washed again, because some of the siding I noticed is definitely getting a little dirty. But other than that, from the exterior, I think for being the middle of winter, I think the curb appeal is pretty strong. You can see they did a decent job with snow removal overall. There's some areas that could come back through and tidy up a little bit, but overall they didn't do bad. And so you have 201 units here. I'm certain anyone who's watching this video that is an investor would love to own an apartment complex like this one day, right? So I think if you're currently investing in properties, maybe you have single families, or you have, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments, I'm sorry, one or two bedroom, or 1 or 2 units in a building, maybe a 4-unit building even. You'd love to own 201 units at one location, right? And so I think it's possible. We're going to go over that in another video, but I just wanted to show you an apartment complex that I have some history with, and we used to know a lot of people that lived here because of my dad working for the company. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little field trip out to Oxford Manor Apartments in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Hope you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.